This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this week's live stream and oh my god, what is it? The Long Run Show live stream and podcast.
Life.
Honestly,
That is the worst open. Hayden, you try it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Long Run Show. It's Friday night, and we are. There you go. It's easy. What's up with you?
Try admin. Right, look, pretend. Look, I'll honestly, I'll cut it out in the edit. I won't. Go. Try again.
good evening, and welcome to the Long Run live stream and podcast. This episode is.
No, stop again. Stop. That's still rubbish. Right, Ben, you try it.
Oh my God, really? I'm on. Good evening and welcome to this episode of the Long Run Show. This episode sponsored by Skechers.
Right, he's hired. Give the man the job. Give the man the job.
Okay, important stuff. This episode is sponsored by Skechers. Head over to skechers.co.uk to see all of the latest trainers and clothing. There's some good stuff on there, actually. And there are still Max Road 5s in women's sizes, because I looked today. Tonight, we're going to be talking to you about kind of top 10 or worst pieces of running advice we've ever had, as well as what's been going on this week. There's been some exciting stuff happening. We're going to catch up with Ben, see how his London journey's going, and Hayden on the road to Boston, which is not that far away. And yes, I've already seen the comment saying Tokyo Toby is back. He is after about 4 weeks away. So we should be back on track. Guys, there should be a link on the Facebook page. So please.
He's not done it yet.
Oh,
I'm just working out how this. I literally got on here and I was like trying to remember what buttons to press.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest with everyone, right? This is like amateur hour today, isn't it? Like we
Yeah.
are
You
all over.
started it badly.
I've started it badly.
Definitely.
It's going to be carnage, I imagine. But Toby is putting a link into Facebook. Please do click on that so we can see your name as you comment, or just put your name in there as well so we know who we're talking to. So, Ben, let's start with you. How you doing?
I mean, other than having tech issues tonight, yeah, all good. It's been an eventful few weeks since we last spoke. I did Chelmsford half. Got a text maybe 10 minutes before the start telling me to update my race plan and go quick, which I will. And as you know from last time, I do as I'm told. So did that, and yeah, managed 18 miles last weekend and up to the big 20 this weekend. So looking forward to getting that one and tapering.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Last week was good, so I'm hoping this week will be good. I think once I get the 20 done, I'll be in a good place, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I know it's not easy, right? We know, we say this all the time. Marathons aren't easy, doing them aren't easy. But you have had a great training block for a first marathon. You couldn't have.
I wait for Chris to cut in and say something here.
I'm not saying anything because I'll be
He's
honest
too
with you, I
busy
won't
playing
listen
the
to anything
titles.
because I've been playing with the titles down the side because I've just realised I'm logged in as Toby, and there was somebody wrote who's Toby, and I just keep showing it up. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, really lucky. I think it's been a great kind of marathon plan so far. I've been touch wood, really lucky, kind of getting out, and yeah, big day in 30 days now. I think.
Yeah.
It's getting real.
Yeah, 4 week Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What's going through your mind right now?
What's going through my mind right now? Will I run with you for 4 hours and do any paracetamol? Other than that, I'm just.
Why is everyone shaking their heads, by the way? This is audio based.
I think the reason is because I think we're jumping in too early with the worst pieces of running advice, and you've come up with one already.
It's a bit
To
strong.
be fair, I'm really excited. I'm just really excited. I've kind of really switched from, I think, when I first spoke to Chris when I got in and I was set on a time. I'm kind of just wanting to enjoy it now, and what will be will be.
If you want to enjoy it, then I can give you one bit of advice.
Don't run with Chris.
Yeah.
But Ben, what you could do is make sure when you go to the expo that you get one of these T-shirts, like this my Tokyo one that I got from Tokyo, wrong side, and a Tokyo hat. You could get a London one and a London top like mine from Expo.
Will I not get one anyway?
No, you have to buy one at the Expo, and then you have to get you'll get given one.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we've got to give a shout out to the guys at London Landmarks. Totally gone off kilter, and they've just done their T-shirt reveal. I think London Landmarks half marathon. Sorry for the guys all over the world. We'll come on to you in a minute, but it is one of the best, I would say, London half marathons that takes place. But they have probably the best race finishers T-shirts in the business. They are genuinely, I think, the best. Better than your London Marathon took. Better than all your, well, I don't even think you get one at ASICS now for $8,000 that you spend to go and do it. But the London Landmarks half marathon is without doubt the best finishers T-shirt, I think, out there. What do you think, Hayden?
It's a bit too yellow for me. Yellow ain't my colour.
You're basing it on colour?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Oh.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, let's ignore him. Admin?
I thought listen, it's no secret. I'm a big fan of Landmarks. I thought their goodie bag last year was brilliant, actually. The whole thing was brilliant. So I haven't seen the new T-shirt, but...
Okay. Toe?
I quite like it. It's not as good as my Amsterdam top, but I do quite like.
Is that the one you can't get in?
One.
Is that the one that doesn't fit you?
I gifted it away because I'm generous.
You are generous, hence my Tokyo top. Ben, have you run London Landmarks?
Yeah, I did the first one after lockdown.
What do you think of the T-shirt?
I mean, I'm kind of with Hayden on this one. It's a bit, yeah. I preferred Cardiff half. It was FORDY pink, so that's my kind of winning T-shirt.
I get it. I want to go back to that comment that says, "Who's Toby again?"
And no. Let's check in with Hayden, because Hayden's actually been doing some running this week.
That's a bit strong.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. Right, Hayden, this week, how you been? Or even since did we see you last week?
Did.
Yeah.
The weeks go by so quick, don't they? It's a bit like the training plan when you think, I've got ages yet. Them long ones are a long way away, and then suddenly, before you know it, they're on top of you. Yeah, so I'm on week 13, which is always going to be highest mileage week. So yeah, tough week. Got the long run done today out the way, because I've got a lot on this weekend. So feeling good about that. The thought of sort of like working all week, and then the weekend's thinking tomorrow I've got to go out and do a real big long run. Sometimes that can be a bit of a pain. So yeah, really glad I got it out of the way today. And really good. Not too bad at all.
Yeah. Feel good. And what are you doing this weekend then?
So tomorrow there's a few of us down at Bushy Park, because Mel Howes, who's presented the show, been on the show before. Yeah. She is actually a fantastic achievement. It's been passed by some people, I think. But to run 100 park runs is special. But to volunteer 100 times at park run, to give up 100 Saturdays of your time to help others, I think it's absolutely fantastic. So we come up with the idea of all going down there. And instead of going down there just to celebrate and run, we're going to go down there and volunteer. So a bit of a volunteer takeover. So there's quite a few of us down there, and we're going to help Mel out with the volunteering. She's actually volunteer coordinated tomorrow, so should be good. And then a few bits celebration afterwards, a few drinks, teas, coffees, and maybe some Prosecco, just to celebrate fantastic achievement.
Yeah, huge shout out to Mel, because that is 100 weeks.
Yeah, amazing. Well done, Mel.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. So, yeah. All right. Toby, have you done anything this week?
Oh.
No.
Why does he get in front of me?
Because he's not going to say much, and then you're going to.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
2 minutes.
I haven't really got much to say, to be honest, because I've been sitting
broken
on the injury bench. Yeah, I didn't even do it running. I managed to hurt my knee on a rest day.
In Pret?
No, I wasn't in Pret. I was at home and I was actually cooking.
No, you weren't cooking. Who were you cooking? Hang on. Oh, tight. Who was you cooking for?
Hold on. This story changed.
Who was you cooking for?
Me.
Don't tell lies. I'm not having that.
It was me.
I'm going to put one of them Ring cameras on your drive.
I would like to see you the login.
Actually, do I want to see who's going in and out of all sorts of hours? No, not really. You 100% right. That's it. You're not going to hear the end of that, boy.
Yeah, but his story's also changed from what he said the other day. So anyway, right, go on, Chris.
Well, firstly, I'm really proud of myself because I've helped Petra out, PB Petra, massively this week, because I've organised extra entertainment for her wedding. Admin's agreed to do a karaoke set at her wedding. So if you're going, It's in the after party. Make sure you get your songs in as soon as you finish with the ceremony and all that after the first dance down. Admin's going to be doing at PB Petra's a karaoke set, so that was amazing. So that's good. And more importantly, I've got a congratulator because I edited the Colin Jackson podcast video thing that she went along and did, and it is amazing. So well done you, because you're not trained in any way to interview people. So well done you, because that is a brilliant episode. So that comes out on Good Friday, guys. It's a really good listen. It's about 30 minutes. It's basically, we're off on Good Friday because we're going to be eating chocolate. And it's coming out on Good Friday, usual time, 7 o'clock. The video will drop 7 p.m. So you still get your long run hit. But it's Sabrina and Colin Jackson. Toby's in there adding no value, but he is there.
It's a great camera
honestly,
shot.
it's really good. You've done really well, mate. So be proud of yourself, because I'll tell you what, that's not easy what you've done this week. So well done.
Yeah, and to be fair, he was lovely, and Toby added more value than we. Not you. You were pretty useful though at times, let's say. So yeah, all right. Go on. Here he is.
No, I just wanted to bring up something. I think it's an interesting thing, and it might freak Ben out a bit. So I thought we could do it, because. And it's sort of related to Hayden. Obviously, Hayden had his bib come through. I put that on Instagram this week. What were you laughing at? What?
You know what? This clown, honestly.
Well, I just forwarded your picture. I can't help that they had your real age on there, 72, and your middle name, Alice. But anyway, I was chatting to somebody. I was chatting to a client, and he was talking about his waves, because all the numbers of Manchester and Brighton, they've all been dropping this week, and obviously we've had the waves of London landmarks as well, which is coming up. And it was a valid question from him, and he said, like, I'm in the wrong wave. When I put down my time, obviously I was being conservative, which I think most people are. They're genuinely conservative when they put their predicted race times down. And he's now trained really well, and he's found himself to be a little bit quicker than that. And I would say he was worried about it, but he asked the question, like, what do I do? And I thought it'd be an interesting point of discussion to start the
What
day.
is he worried about? That because he's quicker, he's going to be held up being in the wave isn't right. Okay.
Yeah, and where to position himself. It's that traditional, the race is coming upon us. I'm going to start worrying about needless things. So, like, probably in about a week's time, Ben's going to be worrying about that he hasn't got enough, I don't know, bagels in his house, because, you know, it's like Sainsbury's are going to sell out or something. You get focused on something ridiculous, but I get it, right? And that's why I thought I would bring it up at the front end and talk about it very quickly, because the waves and numbers have been dropping, right? So look, Alan came up with one tip. I remember we spoke about this before, which was to sit at the back of the wave. So if you're in a wave, regardless of where you are, you think maybe you're in a 5-hour pen for a marathon, but you think you're going to actually probably end up running 4.5 hours. Alan's advice was to sit at the back and let the crowd go in that wave, and then sort of get started, which kind of works. I get that. Obviously, that doesn't help if they do a bit of a rolling start, because then you'll get like crushed. The other way to do it is to get at the front and to get your elbows out and get right at the front of the wave, and then you can get going. But obviously, you might have to race out of the wave. But I think the thing is, amongst all of this anxiety, it's just to chill out, because you're going to run your own race. It doesn't matter if you start in the 7-hour wave or the 2-hour wave. You just got to run your own race. So anybody who's got a bib this week for whatever race it is, and you're worrying about that you're in the wrong wave, or you're in, you're too far forward, you're too far back, don't worry about it. Honestly, just go in there that you're going to run your own wave, run your own race, and you're going to find your rhythm. You're going to get going, and then just worry about other stuff. It's just, that was what I wanted to discuss at the front. Have you ever found yourself in the wrong wave, Hayden?
No, I've been quite lucky. Fortunate enough to have faster times. I've always find myself near the front, but I find if you're a bit further back in a race, that overtaking of people, as long as you can do it safely, that gives you a bit of confidence and a good boost as well. So mentally, if you think on them terms, as you start going past people, you almost start picking people off. And mentally, that's good. That's better than being somewhere and everyone starts overtaking you. That can be mentally, that's a bit demoralising.
But I go the other way, Hayden. I quite enjoy that. The fact that people are going past me, because I'm looking at them going, maniacs. and I let them go because they're going to get like in my head. I'm thinking you're going to get broken. I'll overtake you later. You'll be on like crashed out. I'm one of those who'll stay to the left and let everybody go.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. But I'm the other way. I'd rather stay left. Let all the maniacs bolt off. Like when they open the corral up, and all the horses go for it. I'm that horse who's just chilling out on the side eating. That's me. And then I'll start going. But I think there's two different mindsets there. But it's the same principle. You're looking at it in a similar sort of way, but it's how you sort of break that down. What about you, Benny boy? Do you go and have it large?
No, surprisingly not. I think I always seem to, where I've put in my time, and I don't think I've been conservative with some of the times I've put in. All the paces around me are always at the slow. I've always felt like they've expected people to be ambitious with their times, and so I've ended up in amongst kind of like 2 hours to 2:15, and I'd put about 1:55, 1:50, which it did freak me out because I was just like, how am I going to do this? I need the pacer. Like Hayden though, I really like the kind of element of picking someone, kind of picking them off, move on to the next one, move on to the next one. But also like you, if someone goes like flying past me, I also kind of think, I'll get you later on. And then you get to kind of 11 miles and just be like, okay, cool. I've run steady. I'm okay.
Yeah, remember me as you get back? No.
Yeah, tap them on the shoulder.
Yeah, remember me at the start? We was in the wave together.
There is a little bit of a caveat to this as well. So out in Tokyo, I was out there with somebody, a lady, I won't name her, but the problem was there's a cut-off time in Tokyo, and they were quite strict with it.
Yeah.
And the cut-off time started when the gun went off for the elites.
Really?
So by putting the slower people at the back, they're already 45 minutes at least worse off. So it's absolutely ridiculous. So I think the cut-off worked out. If you was at the very, very back of the race, you probably had 6 hours.
Wow.
And we saw, literally, I don't know if Toby saw it as well, we saw quite a few people have a coach behind the back markers people. And every now and again, once they reach that mark, you're like out the game. They put you on the coach and take you back to the start. No arguments, no fuss. They just don't mess about.
Really?
Yeah, they're really, really strict with it. There was people on like chat groups that have gone out there to get their 6-star. Literally, they got picked off. They just weren't going to make it. And these aren't people that like wanted to walk it. They might be like 6:30 marathon runners where they do a bit of jeffing. It's really harsh.
What's the London cut-off? Is it 8 hours?
I don't think they got one now.
They extended it, didn't they? Because of all the furore around it before.
Yeah.
I know they extended it, which was right as well. Because you should be able to run your own race.
There's just Robert Smith just made a comment saying, like in London marathon, so many folks were walking like 3 abreast in the middle of the narrow roads. A lot of people don't know the etiquette of walk on the left. So I think that is important. If you are in a wave that people are faster than you think you're going to be, run your own race. It doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't matter what wave you go off in. And people are generally, unless you're up there with the elites on the front row, everyone kind of gets it. Waves tend to be mixed up, right? But yeah, just stay to the side, stay left, and make sure you're safe. And then you find your own rhythm and you find your own space. I think is the most important thing in it, right? So whether you're in a wave that's too quick, if you're in one and you think actually I'm quicker than this now, likelihood is everyone in that wave is going to go off way too quick. And any of the big marathons, the first 2-3 miles are massively congested anyway. So London, your first 3 miles are busy. You're not going to find.
So I wonder who Hayden's talking about.
What? What did you say?
No, nothing.
He's having a comma. Is that Lou?
No, of course not.
Get her on. Get her on. Hayden's been sorry to interrupt you again, admin.
Sorry.
Hayden's talking to his wife. He's not interested in what we're talking about tonight. Just eat.
So much
you shouldn't be having all that food that you just ordered.
He ran 22 miles today. He can do what he wants.
No, he didn't. It was a slow jog. Because he didn't have his cigar.
No, I was just telling you I didn't want chili sauce on the doner.
Oh, actually, I've got a serious question, Hayden. In Boston, with the waves.
Yeah.
In your wave, is that like the old person's wave? So everybody over 70, do they start on their own?
Yeah. Yeah. They've got like a little park, they've got buggy parks. They've got a bit like Zimmer frames and crutches and things. Turn to one side. It's just easier then for everyone just to get together. And we all talk about the same things, the war and everything like that. So it's easier.
No, it's nice. It's
Nice.
nice. Sorry.
He hasn't taken you as his carer.
No. Imagine me go. I think it'd be the other way around. Right, hey, you go back and talk to Luke now. Sorry, carry on.
All right, cheers.
But no, seriously, right, this whole wave thing, it can be quite intimidating. It can be quite intimidating, especially because I've already seen it on like the London group that we've got. People are worried about, has everybody got their waves yet? Has anybody got their waves yet? What waves is everybody? I mean, you get it at the expo, people, right? But what waves? Why is anybody at this precise moment with like, however, like it's how much I care. I don't know how many weeks we got, but why is anybody worrying about that? Really, honestly, just don't.
But you're right. But also, look, you've done five. This is your 5th London, right? So
yeah, I get it.
So for people that have never done
I get it.
First people, what I don't think people realise is with London, the waves are about 7 minutes apart, right? So it doesn't matter what wave you're in; they're all going to go off relatively quickly. But to your point that you made earlier, it's the thing that it's something to focus on right now, isn't it? Because you've got your 20-mile run, and then what you're going to think about, all you're thinking about is what time I've got to get to London. What time am I going to be there on the day? What time am I getting off? What time do I tell my friends to start tracking me from? Like, that's it. You just want your number. So that
I get it. I get. Listen,
real,
I get it.
isn't it?
Yeah, I get it. And then you start worrying about when the expo opens. Can I get to the expo in time? And all this sort of stuff. I mean, we'll probably do maybe we'll do a London Marathon special saying so if you want to, what's the thing? Admin, the thing.
FORDYruns.com/long run.
Send all your London Marathon questions about the week leading up to it, the day.
Yeah.
As I said, I'll be doing my 5th this time around, so I've done it a couple of times. Hayden's done it, Tobe's done it, Ben's doing it his first time, so he's probably going to send in 18 questions. So just send them in, and we might even do like a, I don't know, half-hour special or something, record it and just bang that out. So you guys, we can answer all this stuff and help you out. But we get it. I get it. I totally understand. But people, honestly, listen to this advice. Stop worrying about everything. It's normal. It's 100% normal. The best way to stop thinking about things is eat crisps. Top tip.
All right, I'm just going to do a few shout outs actually because we've had loads of stuff coming in. So Jay has said Tokyo Toby is back. He is, and weirdly Chris is in a whole Tokyo kit.
Have you seen it? Do you want me to show you again? Sorry for the podcast. I'm wearing my now famous Tokyo top that I got from the expo with my Tokyo hat. Look at it, it's beautiful. Carry on.
And for those that are listening on the audio-based formats, Hayden is shaking his head and rolling his eyes.
I am literally, I've been thinking about this because since last week, I thought about nothing else. So I'm not running London this year. Do you know what? I'm going to go up to Expo and get a London t-shirt, a London hat. That very first podcast on Friday, I'm going to wear it and I'm going to do all this rubbish. I can't wait.
Look how much it annoys people. I'm not here to annoy people. I'm only here to annoy one person. Well, actually 2. One's up there and one's up there. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Anyway,
I can't wait to get my Chicago bar. What?
You're not. So Jason Rams finally made it on time to 40 HQ. I love this 3 p.m. start from Tennessee.
Oh, hero. We love Tennessee. Oh, there's a lot. I mean, no, I better not. I was going to start singing a song from Bat Tennessee then.
No. Not karaoke night. Steve had a cracking day, broke the sub 25k. Congratulations. Wow. That's a
good job.
Achievement. What else did we have? Who is Toby? Yeah, I know. He's been away for a while, but he's back. There's also a shout out to Ben. Thanks for nearly killing other Ben in Chelsea.
Yeah, you've got to apologise for that.
I apologise. I'll see you in Southend. We have plans.
Going to break him then.
Part 2. with Chris accompanying us to.
We'll have a great chat.
Yep.
You should at least try and sound sincere, Ben, when you apologise. That was.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Okay, but
try it again, like Admin did with her opening bit.
Okay. Try again. Ben, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
right. I will try harder in Southend to not break you.
Yeah, it's better than Admin's open. Well done.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. Andrew's asking Toby, have you got a matching outfit to Chris's?
I don't know. That's an exclusive. So
this was made in Broxbourne.
What?
This is a Broxbourne special.
Our co-host Jatila is listening on YouTube. So hello, good evening. We'll see you back in a few weeks, actually.
Is she on next week?
Maybe.
We're
Next
grilling
week.
then.
She also smashed out 20 miles in New York last weekend. So huge shout out to her. Another person from Boston. What is going on? What's everyone from the other side of the world listening?
We've all come to see Hayden. Sneak peek, isn't it?
Good reminder. Remind the US listeners the clocks go forward here next week. So we'll be on an hour earlier, everyone. Don't miss us. And Paul's saying Lisbon had no waves. Earlier you got to the start, the nearer you were to the front. Free for all. Interesting.
But it's a bit like the big half, isn't it? It's like just rock up and go. I like it. I think that's. I know. Look, it's hard, with so many people, Max. These large scale events. I mean, that would never work at the Great North Run, for example, with 60,000 people. But I think with something like an event like the Big Half, although that is probably the worst half marathon in London, it's the fact that start is, let's say 12 to 15,000 people. It might even be 18, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to get those people through on a rolling start, fair play to London marathon events. That's a good shout, and that they do a good job with that. The rest of the course is terrible, but you've got to ignore that.
But it is the best start.
Best start. Yeah, you get the award for the best start. How's that?
Yeah, it's fair.
But I was going to say, with Lisbon though, because Lisbon's a great race because you start on the bridge and kind of come over, so you all kind of start together. So I can't remember how many people there were last year. I think 30,000 people. So that first kind of mile is sharpen the elbows, get out, and kind of go. But actually, it spreads out very, very quickly, kind of from that. So it's quite a nice start because there's no stressing about, as you said, waves and stuff. They just had no backdrop. That was weird.
What did you do then? Did you leave it at the side?
No, just didn't take anything with us. Oh. Apart from money for beers at the end, obviously.
Were you in a vest?
Yeah, I think I was actually.
Well,
it was so last year's Lisbon was in May, and it starts 10 o'clock, I think, from memory, and it was coming up to 30 degrees when we started. Ouch. So it was hot, and by the time we finished, it was kind of midday sun. So yeah, hydration.
Would you recommend Lisbon then?
Yeah, I loved it, and it's part of the Super Half series. So it was the first one that we did as part of the Super Halves. I absolutely loved it. Lisbon's a great city, and it's kind of, I think, one of the only races in Lisbon that you start on the bridge and kind of go over the bridge. So very, very much on the kind of, I'd go back and do it.
What's this Super Half thing?
Yeah.
So Super Halves is 5 half marathons, so you do Lisbon, Copenhagen, Cardiff, Valencia, and Prague.
Hang on. Cardiff.
Yeah. So wait till so Cardiff, I've done it twice.
I'm not having a go at Cardiff because I love Wales, right? I've got a little I think I'm quarter Welsh, right? But
he's not.
No, I am. Genuine, I am. Genuine. That could be fact checked, right? When they do the biography about me, that'll be in there. You know that BBC thing? I'm gonna go on there.
Yeah.
We'll go do it. But I am genuine. I love Wales. I mean, I genuinely love it. But when you said Cardiff, you was going all those other places, and you just went Cardiff.
Only because
try again.
Yeah. So do you know what? So the Super Halves was supposed to kick off 2020. We were supposed to do Lisbon. Obviously, everything kind of happened pandemic-wise. And they took the decision that last year's races were going to be the first part of the Super Half series, even though the ones from 2020 kind of happened at the back end of 2021. Yeah. But they didn't announce. They gave you the option to defer to 2021 or 2022, but they didn't announce until a couple of days before all the races took part or happened that they weren't going to count for the Super Half series. So people have paid a lot of money to go to Lisbon, to Copenhagen, only to find that it didn't count. Nothing ever got said about Cardiff. I was sat in the hotel room the night before Cardiff last March, randomly just Googled it, and it was like, this doesn't count towards the Super Half series. So hence my my kind of not enthusiasm with Cardiff, because I ran Cardiff Half twice last year. But great time, really nice course, really great support. And actually it's on the doorstep, so it's of the ones that I was lucky it happened to me for was Cardiff, because I hadn't paid for flights and things like that. But it's a really good series. So I'm doing my fourth one in October. Is Valencia. I know I think Tony and Lloyd are going out for that as well, and it's kind of catching up. And then next April it will be, I think first weekend in April or last weekend in March will be Prague. Prague happens on the Saturday, a bit like Ibiza, and it's my 40th. So we're ending with Prague half to complete the super half series and then getting on the beers. So that's FORDY trip next year, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I've been to Prague. It's a great city. Really.
And the beer's cheap.
There you go.
Do we get a big medal?
Afterwards, yeah. So you get individual medals, and then there's a finisher medal, kind of like completion
How
medal
big?
as well. I haven't looked that far ahead because I'm tempting fate, right?
I quite fancy the idea. Oh, I hate flying. I don't like traveling, and I don't really like going to places that I don't know. But other than that, I like this. I genuinely like the sound of this. It's like doing the classics, isn't it? Like I'm doing this year with the biking thing. So I like the idea of this, and it's like the 6 majors. I'm doing the 6 majors differently. I'm getting the 6 majors. I'm getting the 6 major t-shirts, and that's actually an official thing. When you get the 6 major t-shirts, right, like this Tokyo one, made in Broxbourne, you then get a special t-shirt at the end of it. It's true, Tobe, isn't it true?
Yeah, where's that made?
Broxbourne.
Okay. I'm not sure you get a Chicago one though, if I'm honest.
No, the Chicago one is definitely coming, 100%.
Not what I've heard.
Well, I might do Chicago. So Chris,
No,
I'll
Ben.
be
Yes, Ben.
You're only coming to Chicago if you do not get Chris a t-shirt. There's a rule.
okay.
I'm going to have to report you to like.
I do as I've told Chris, right? So
Yeah.
I think what I said was,
he's telling me that.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to my Boston one. Jatila's getting me one, she
No,
said.
she's not.
She is.
She's not.
She is. You're not here next week. I'm going to talk to her about it. Anyway, if
Anyway,
anybody else wants to take part in the World Major T-shirt, by we can't use that word because they'll slap us with a copyright. So the sort of marathons that happen around the world, 6 of them, get the T-shirts, join me. It's a new craze. What? Who is it?
Right. I've got one question actually quickly before we go into worst running tips. Sheffield half on Sunday. Forecast is looking wet and cold. No idea what to run in. What do you run in if you know it's going to be wet? My advice: skin is more waterproof than clothes, so definitely shorts. Don't try and wear leggings and layers and stuff because base layers are going to be useless. They're going to get wet. They're going to stick to you. You're going to freeze even more. Hayden's tapping his hat. Go on.
Definitely wear a hat, especially if it's raining. It's coming down. It protect your eyes from the rain going in it. If you don't wear a hat, just don't get them with hats. A little bit of Vaseline above the eyebrows keeps water out your eye. And Chris made a good point a while ago, actually. It was his number 1 tip. It was a big tip for London, I don't know if you remember it, with regards to shoes. Keeping them dry at the start, keeping them as dry as possible, whether that means putting bags on them or taking an old pair with you. Just keep your feet dry as possible at the start, because there's nothing worse than starting a race with wet feet.
The other one I like to do, and it don't matter what you look like, so forget about all that. You've got to let all those inhibitions go, is to put the old black sack on and then start running in it till you get to your body touch, know, slightly warming up. And then obviously make sure you dispose of it near a marshal or something like that. Don't just chuck a black plastic bag on the floor. But that's always a good one as well. So you try and keep some of that warmth before you get going. And then you can literally like Superman it and rip it off. Just don't rip off your other thing and then you've got to wear skin. But yeah, so I always like, if it's raining like that and it's cold and windy, I will wear a very thin compression, but that's just me. I do like to wear a thin compression top, but not with a vest, Ben.
No. Right. Anyway,
there's a couple of questions in there. I think we should do them quickly.
All right.
Here we go.
Next one, Jason. For the shorter distances, would you recommend running negative or positive splits to keep yourself from blowing up on either end?
I'd go negative. Ben?
I do negative.
Hayden?
5K, I'd go even.
Admin?
You're asking the wrong person. I've got no idea.
She don't even know what that means. So,
I was preoccupied.
What was you putting up on the screen?
Where?
He's got something. Joe's going to show something at the end that he thinks is going to be really funny because I just
I've
saw
not got
it.
anything.
No. I've blocked him on Facebook. He can't be picturing me.
Right, sorry, Toe, answer the question.
What was the question?
Positive or negative splits if 5K?
Oh, negative.
Okay. Right, there was another question. I saw it.
My view is just go as hard as you can for as long as you can and try not to die. Pretty simple. Question for Hayden. Claremont Park run.
Oh, right. Yeah, it is. No, it's not easy to get to. If you're driving, it's easy to get to, but you can get Ubers to it. But if you're staying in Orlando, which most people usually are, getting out there is a bit of a drive. I'd say it's at least 45 minutes to an hour outside. But whack it in the sat nav, and it's in an absolute stunning park in Claremont. And tell you what, absolute fantastic park run, and they're really nice. So you have a great time. But yeah, just whack the postcode in the old sat nav. But it literally leave yourself 45 minutes to an hour if you're in Orlando.
Yeah, but Hayden, be fair, it takes you a good half hour to get off your property because of the size of it.
I thought that's actually a nice comment. I thought you was going to talk about getting my Zimmer frame out the back of the car.
No, I was just saying, because I know the garages are under the west wing. So by the time you get the Ferrari out, you drive down the road. It's like Magnolia Drive. If anybody's seen the Augusta, it's like driving out there at Hayden's place. Open up the gates. It's about half hour before you then get onto the highway, isn't it?
Do you know what? People that don't know me at all, well, can you imagine what is going through their head right now?
That's all true.
A 72-year-old man,
millionaire.
Right, millionaire 72-year-old man who likes running around. Everything couldn't be further from the truth. Further from the truth.
Brilliant.
Made his money from being in a boy band.
Yeah, that's true. And that you can't deny that. We've got evidence.
You still got the video of him going into the karaoke bar in Tokyo, right?
Yeah, we've got that as well. We've got it all. It's like I put ring. I'm going to put on Toby's drive. I've got it on you.
Be careful, Toby, is all I'll say.
Yeah, Toby's a bit lively
very
tonight.
careful if I was you, Toby.
I've worked it out. I said this tonight. Do you know what this dynamics within all this group and the hosts here? Definitely. Toby rolls up the snowballs and Chris throws them. And Chris gets all the rubbish for it. Definitely. Toby's in the background there, laughing away.
Thanks, Hayden. What do you reckon, Ben?
I think you're as bad as each other after Tuesday night. One with a whistle and one shouting, "Why are you walking?" when I wasn't. And then I started running faster for some unknown reason.
Encouragement.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, get us back on track and talk about some running before everyone turns off.
One last question. Because this video was really, really useful to me and loads of other people. The Bag Essentials video, it's on the channel, right? From London Marathon.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't know you were talking to. The marathon training, the marathon bag race essentials thing. The one last year, it was very popular in terms of people watching it. Whether I do a new one, I don't know whether. Let us know. Email. What's the thing again?
FORDYruns.com/long run. Let
me know if I need to do a new one, but it'll be pretty much the same as last time one. But it's on the channel. I've done one every year that I've done London, and it's just all the stuff that I chuck into my bag that I give to the amazing volunteers at Greenwich Park, who then make sure that they give that to me when I walk through the line, usually crying, and they give that to me without me even knowing who I am or where I am. So they're amazing people. But yeah, I usually do a video with that. So if you are running London, check out that video. And to be honest with you, if you're running any like mass scale, long distance event, there's a good shout for some bits in there anyway. So
I think if you're running an event where you've got to be traveling to and you're doing a bag drop, definitely look at that video.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk about what we're actually meant to be talking about today, which is worst pieces of running advice we've been given.
Oh, actually, I'll come on to me that because I put it on Instagram. I had about 1 million answers, which is good. So come to me last because then I'll read some of them out. Go
on, Hayden, you kick us off. What have you got?
The number one for most people, and I haven't seen Chris's answer on Instagram. Most people are going to say about it being free. Running is not free. When people say to you, get running, go and do that as a good sport, it's free. We all know it is not free. And it never works out free. It ends up being one of the most expensive sports there probably is.
Yeah.
But I've got one that is quite controversial for some people, and I'll probably get a lot of grief for it. I honestly think the worst running advice is to run every day. I think red is a disaster, but I know there's people specifically in the community with Ben and then they done it and it's worked for them. But for me, the advice to run every day, I think rest days, we've said it before, are so important. You need to recover. Your body needs to do absolutely nothing every now and again. So for me, running every day is probably one of the worst bits of advice that I would ever give a runner, but it does seem to work for some people. So
yeah,
I don't know whether that's right or wrong.
I think it's interesting because I'm with you, right? I think it's terrible, and I actually wonder if that's terrible advice for a new runner in particular, because if someone's just starting their journey going, right, what do I do? Telling them to go and run every day and they've never run before is like recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I suppose it depends on what you want to achieve, and say the worst piece of running advice, it's how specific it is. If this is the worst piece of running advice towards training for a marathon, and it's going to be a different bit of advice than someone just starting running. But I think a lot of people with a run every day, I think what you said was probably right. A lot of people go out for a run, then go the next day, then the next day, then they see this red thing and think, I'm just going to keep this up. And it does seem to work for some people. But as you said, going back to the original question, for me, it's the worst piece of running advice that I would ever give anyone.
Yeah.
You need to rest.
All right, we're going to go round and then we'll come back because people probably got more than one. Ben, go on.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I think the first one would be run through the pain. You know,
Who told you that?
It's when I started running. It was, you do ache a little bit, and then you kind of, people are just like, oh, you just need to get on with it and just kind of run through that pain. And actually, I think as I've got older, and maybe a little bit wiser, actually, it's really important. Like Hayden, I think for me, like the marathon block, I kind of count down to my rest days. I love my rest days. Really look forward to my kind of the easy pace runs, and kind of slightly slower pace, especially after kind of a Tuesday night session. It's that kind of nice. I think this week my legs have been really bad. I've had the massage gun out and actually as I've been running, I'm kind of just testing and seeing what the pain level is, if it is kind of something more serious, but touch wood it's not. But yeah, I think some people give you that advice to kind of just run through it. It's fine, you've got it. Whereas actually you need to
just say, Chris shaking his head, do you not remember my IT band and your famous quote, just lactic acid?
No, that wasn't your IT band at the time. That was just you moaning because you was having to put a shift in. That's all that was. There was nothing to do with your IT band. Your IT band hurt because you didn't stretch afterwards, to be actually correct. The only reason you was struggling is because you were running hard and you was running fast, and your brain was telling you, I've got to quit. And I was telling you, no, your legs are heavy because of lactic acid. Just get on with it. You needed some tough love that day. And you came in, and it was good. But sometimes you need a kick. And if you're telling yourself, "Oh, my legs are hurting," when you're trying to push on like you was, sometimes you need to be told that no, that's something completely different. Don't worry about it. That's what I was doing. I made it up 100%, but you just needed to be told something just to get on with it.
You've got to remember, he's a qualified doctor, so you've got to take a bit of advice.
Physio, osteo, just come and see me for your little leg massage, Hayden, before we go to Boston.
No, we've spoken about this. Simon and I spoken in depth, and he's given me strong advice to never let you massage my legs before anyway.
It's brilliant. I didn't do toe, but and what?
No, you did. That was the problem.
Did I? Oh yeah, we did actually.
I'm opting out for London.
All right, go on, Toby. What have you got then? So we've got Hayden's don't run every day. Ben's saying don't run through the pain.
Toby would be to run every day because you don't do any running.
No. See, this is one that not necessarily to me, but I have heard and I agree with. But I mean, Hayden is living proof of this, really, that you're never too old to start. So,
he's getting it tonight, the boy.
It's true, isn't it? You don't have to start when you were younger or at school. You can start at any age, can't you?
Mate, you're right, bruv. All right, you're right.
I wouldn't know. No idea.
I don't know where to go from there.
You can't. I just can't believe he's come back 4 weeks off and he's gone 2-footed on Hayden. Poor Hayden.
That's standard. Absolute standard.
Right, go on, Chris. You can go with
one
or two, and then we're going to go.
Thanks to everybody on Instagram. Right. Actually, the best one, Admin, was today was because you. Do you remember your Cambridge half video that you upset everyone? Someone was still going on about that. That their worst running advice is the Cambridge half marathon's rubbish. They're still really upset about you and Simon.
Right. Can I just on that though? We've had a lot of stick about that. when you are running on your own and you are running hard, which is what Simon and I were both doing. I mean, I know Simon was with you, Chris, for a bit.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, but we were.
I just jogged on a little bit quicker and I lost him. Yeah.
Yeah, but as in we were working hard, both of us. It's not going to be fun, right? The likelihood is when you're really working hard and you are going up some long country road and you're thinking, what am I doing and where am I? It's not going to be enjoyable. If I went and did that route with my mates and ran with Petra, let's say, I'd probably have gone, oh, this is lovely and this is brilliant, right? So I'm sorry if we've upset or offended anyone, but I do stand by the fact that it was horrible.
Well, I'm glad you finally realised the error of your ways. We'll get Simon on to apologise to the people.
He ain't going to. Let's leave.
No, he won't. Right, so here we go. So first one, I love this. Actually, friend of the show, Marissa. It's good for you. Does that ring any bells anywhere?
That is just, I tell you what, I can see her. I can just picture her in my head right now saying that. That's exactly what she'd say. Worst advice, running's good for you.
It gets easier. It don't. Look at Hayden with his age. If it doesn't hurt, it's not working.
Ooh.
A bit like what I told admin. Don't have anything to eat before a long run. I mean, what the hell? Don't have anything to eat before a long run. That's stupid advice. My first coach, it'd be great if I could talk tonight. Well, I'm too busy laughing about Toby's comments still. My first coach told me I needed to lose weight if I wanted to run long distance. What a load of old rubbish. I mean, what? Yeah. Next one. A marathon only counts as a marathon if you run it in under 4 hours.
What?
Don't be careful. It's a family show.
All right.
There's loads. Right, I'll do one more. Run slow to run fast on race day. She didn't like that. I think. Well, I'm not so sure that's not. I wouldn't say that's bad advice. I don't think that's too far off mark. But again, everyone's different, right? Everyone's different. So it's like you and Si hated Cambridge Half Marathon with a passion, and upset the nation. Where I really enjoyed it, and everybody else did. So everyone's got a different opinion. Oh, look, here we go. Yeah, run through the pain and injury. Gary's the same.
Hills don't hurt.
Hills don't hurt. Yeah, I mean, the other one is as well. Is like, it's not really advice, but it's. I've heard someone say to me before, like, to take the stuff out on course. If you're struggling at the end. But that I've done that. I think I took an ice pop and some. What was it? I can't remember. It was like, and it repeated on me the whole way. But someone was saying, "Oh, that's worth a shout." And I don't know why I listened to it because I'm just an idiot. But I just picked the stuff. The people they're giving out the stuff. I won't do it now. You'll never see me take anything from anybody because I did it. And I can't remember why, but it was just. I think it might have even been the Great North Run. And I was taking stuff because I think I was so enjoying the moment, but I was struggling a bit. And I took some sweets or something. I know it was oranges,
Yeah.
And it was so acidic. And then not that I was sick at the end, but when you just feel it at the end, it was like, oh, my stomach was in bits. So that was, yeah. Someone told me not to tell me, or someone mentioned it somewhere, and I thought, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea, idiot.
Yeah.
Ben,
so you had a couple of others. What else did you have?
I think similar to what Chris was saying, but actually it was almost that you've always got to run fast to kind of improve your times, whereas actually I've kind of found the opposite in terms of slowing down has actually kind of really helped that on that one. And I think another kind of piece of advice, kind of bad advice, is if you haven't run the whole race, you almost haven't done, kind of completed it, or kind of actually done it. Whereas who knows what happens on race day? You've just got to go with it and get to the finish line, whether you're crawling, walking,
crying.
Yeah, true. With any running, though, isn't it? There's that whole thing that you have to run to be a runner, which just isn't true. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you walk a little bit or you walk half of it or whatever.
Yeah,
build up. But yeah,
whatever.
Walking is allowed.
No, 100%. Look at the Jeff Galloway, whatever it's called, method.
Yeah.
Because I get confused because the Americans call it the Galloway method or the Callaway or Galloway method, and obviously we call it Jeffing. But most people are heroes. Yeah, absolute heroes.
Well, and there's that saying, isn't it? Finish lines, not finish times. It's really important. Everyone gets the same medal, so it don't matter how long it takes, how you do it. It's a
Mile is a mile, right?
mile is a mile. You're
I
right.
think
Yeah, Gary. Sorry, Hayden, go on.
I was out to find another one as well. Is some people will say stick to your race plan no matter what. It's almost like that's like the Holy Bible. You know what you're going to do. Don't deviate at all. For me, that's awful advice because every race throws up something different. Whether that be the weather, whether it be a change in the course conditions, or the hills, or the people around you, or the way you feel on the day. If you've got a niggle, you have to adapt on your race day. But so many people will go with that in their head saying, "I've got a plan. I'm sticking to it no matter what." To me, that's awful advice as well. You just got to adapt on the day to the circumstances around you.
Yeah.
Well, it's absolutely right. Yeah, I agree with you 100% about that. It's like you just said you could wake up, you could have had the best training block ever, right? Or even for like couch to 5K and you're going along the park run for the first time, but you wake up and you're just not feeling it. What are you going to do? You got to adapt, haven't you? So, yeah, I think that's terrible advice as well. It really is. I mean, maybe we should do another version of this down the line of the best advice we've had. Flip it round.
Yeah.
Really? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why are you just nodding like, yeah, he's so clever. Yeah, he's like the best thing. You're just contemplating getting the 6 major T-shirts now. They're all available on the FORDY Run store.
The Broxbourne 6.
Yeah.
Do you not think that the advice though as well, like part of it is you know, like Hayden's point on kind of running every day for different people, different things almost kind of work. And you know, I think for me, being able to adapt my race plan on the day is something I've had to kind of learn over, you know, almost forgive myself. Like I think Hackney last year, I decided to kind of go with the 1:45 pacer, and just at 6 miles, you know, was done. And almost all these people, you know, similar to how we were kind of saying earlier, but all these people were kind of coming back past me. And actually, I just had to allow myself that kind of like, it's fine to finish, you know, just keep going, walk, run, however you get there, you'll kind of get there. And
Yeah.
it's a learning, it's a journey, I think.
It's a really good point, because Hayden, like Ben, obviously you were at Hackney last year, and Chris, you were there, but it was scary. That was probably the first time I've been at a race and actually felt worried and felt quite scared at points. And I was lucky I wasn't on my own, but there were so many people there and you could see it happening. I mean, it was that first really hot weekend of the year here, and everyone's trained through the winter and the spring, and it hasn't been that hot, and they get there on race day and it's people's first half marathon, or they've been training really hard for a time. And whereas we'd looked at the weather the few days before and went, look, none of us are going for a time. We're just going to go out there and have a good time, run 3 miles at goal pace or whatever, and then we back out, and it doesn't matter if we walk 10. People were really, really pushing themselves, and they were on the sides of the road, and you just thought, and I was thinking, God, this is A, really scary and awful, but B, why in 25 degrees heat at 9:30 in the morning did you think trying to push yourself was going to be a wise idea? Like, you just don't know. The opposite could happen. You could have torrential rain that morning, and you're going, it's slippery, it's dangerous. You can't try and push yourself to a point when.
Yeah, exactly. It's just silly, isn't it? I mean, we're all grown ups at the end of the day, so just use some of those brains that we've been given. Just seen an amazing comment. Toby, am I allowed to put this up without getting told off?
Which one?
The one from Frozen Banana Guy. Hammering admin again.
Oh,
hello, because she said that Cambridge is very hilly.
I didn't say it was very hilly. I said there was a hill.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you know, and that's another thing. I'll make you right, Frozen Banana Guy. It's so hilly in Cambridge. What?
Not what I said.
You should apologise again to him personally or her.
Okay, I'm really sorry, Frozen Banana Guy.
Ben, was that sincere enough, do you think?
Ben, would you
I don't think so. He's smiling.
Oh, I love this. I love this coming toe. Put it up.
Gary Howland.
Gary Howland.
Worst
Great advice. This is have a lay down at mile 25 and a half. If you don't know the story, watch the Amsterdam Marathon vlog. Esteemed colleague who's not here, who also slated Cambridge half marathon, needed a lay down at mile 25 and a half at Amsterdam. Brilliant, that is, Gary.
There's also a Facebook user that said, don't ever take a beer at mile 11 of a half. That's great. That's not bad advice. Nothing wrong with that. The old Great North.
Yeah, you boys smashed it, didn't you?
Done the beers at mile 11. Didn't do us no harm.
Did you down? I need to watch this again.
Yeah, they watched. They
pint.
Yeah, both of them did it. Both of them did it. They went in. It's on the video. They both went in, necked it, and then carried on. And they still ran, I think, under 1:45 or something.
Just
I'll tell you what as well. I've seen old Mr. Kafuzi as well. He's done it at New York Marathon.
Yeah, he loves it.
He's properly done it there.
Yeah, Mike loves a beer.
Well, hold on. Hayden, it's your birthday on the day of the Great North Run this year. Not even the
Why are
day.
we bringing up age and birthdays again? Let's give that a rest.
Happy
This is just more ammo for these two clowns, honestly.
Seriously, they'll do I'll speak to, because we've got a media pass, so I can speak to Brendan. We can do a special announcement for the 100-year-old man who's running the Great North Run for his last time, because he probably won't make it for the rest of the year.
We could all go with wigs and those inflatable Zimmer frames. We could all have them.
Oh, it's brilliant. Now it's this weekend. That's brilliant.
Well, my point was, you could have a pint at every mile, couldn't you?
Yeah,
That's going to go well.
That'll go well. 2 weeks out from Chicago, yeah? That's probably on plan. I'll check my plan after this and I'll schedule it in. 13 pints, 2 weeks before Chicago in a race. Yeah, brilliant. Do you know what? That's great marathon. That's great running advice given out there. We could put that on that show.
Yeah, the best advice.
Ibiza next week, and I'll let 2 weeks out from London, right? I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh yeah, that's going to be murder.
Let us know how that goes, Ben. That'd be wonderful. Can I just say, I don't know how we've got to 56 minutes today.
Well, it started bad. To be fair, this whole show's been based around your opening of the show, which was terrible. All we've done, listen, anybody now, all you need to do is listen to this bit. Admin came on, mucked up the open. Toby took the mickey out of Hayden. Ben spoke some sense. I wore my Marathon Major Tokyo top, and she apologised to the people of Cambridge, who I think there's somebody else who you need to apologise. Martin Thorpe's corrected you. The Manor House you was talking about was actually King's College, the famous King's College in Cambridge. So again, I think you should issue another apology to Paul.
All right, geography is not my strong point, or history.
We saw that from the video.
We've learned. All right, and Chloe has just said Hackney was really scary.
Yeah, it was. No, being serious, yeah. That just being serious for like the last minute of this, it is a really, really good point, people. And it's the same for if you've got your first marathon coming up, your first half, maybe at the London Landmarks half. You know, and the conditions aren't right. You're not feeling it. Don't push. It's really, really not worth it. If it's too hot, too cold, you don't feel right. You feel underfueled. You've had you've been a little bit under the weather. For whatever it is, don't push. Yeah, it's just not worth it. You're still going to cross the line. You're still going to get the same medal. You can then sign up for another race and another event. Okay, do not push. Do not be that idiot that's got caught out. Okay. We are so lucky that we have these amazing volunteers and amazing St. John's ambulance and people like that who attend these races and look after us all and make sure that we're all taken care of. Yeah. So just be sensible, please. It's just not worth it. Honestly, I saw somebody getting CPR at Hackney. It scared the living daylights out of me. I saw a geezer, the same thing, CPR, the Amsterdam Marathon on the track. And that's, you watch the video, we took the mickey outside, but I went back to make sure he was all right in that video, genuinely, because it's not nice. Don't ever risk it, people. Sensible way to finish the show. Please don't risk it. All these races and events coming up.
All right. Look, just before we go, obviously, it is Mel's 100th volunteering stint at Bushy tomorrow. So if anyone is down there, obviously the volunteers will have all registered now, but if anyone wants to head down there, go for a run and give Mel a huge shout out and a lot of love tomorrow, because that is incredible. Anyone else doing anything else? And a lot of people will this weekend be doing their 20 milers for London, Manchester, Boston, all of that kind of stuff. So those out there, whether it be 16, 18, 20, 10, because you're going for your first half, whatever it is, good luck, stay safe. Go on, Hayden, you got one more?
I've got a few. There's a few of the Surrey satellite and a few other FORDYs around actually doing Hampton Court Half Marathon on Sunday as well. So a big shout out to them. They will hopefully go around there and smash that, even if the last 3K is horrific. I've warned them, but good luck to them all.
Yeah, good luck to those guys as well. All right. Thank you to our sponsors at Skechers. Please do head over to skechers.co.uk to check out all of their latest trainers and clothing. And I think we're back next Friday. God knows what we're going to be talking about, but I will do.
Is Chatilla
on? We're going to hope so, because
I need to talk to you about my T-shirt. I know, but she's getting me my Boston one. So I got it. So just ever. So I'm getting Boston one off of her, Chicago one off of Tobe, New York off of Hayden. I've got my Tokyo one. I've got my own. I'll probably get my own London one. That's me done, isn't it? And then I get my special one.
No.
Is that right?
No.
I thought I said, well, just order 6 plain white ones on eBay and then go to the Broxbourne shop. And there's no point in all this mileage around the world. It's easier.
No, you're not missing the point. Because Hayden, if they're from there, then I feel like I've taken part.
Right.
See?
Right.
Yeah, see, look, Tilla's here. Look, hero. Right, we're going to sort it out next week.
Right. We're off. We'll see you next week, guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Right.